So could this be a year? And that's where Sarah Langs comes in from MLB.com, joining us here on A's Cast Live. How are you? You look great.
I am great. How are you?
I'm excited. This is our last game of the Bay Bridge series. I'm sure your mom's excited as a huge Giants fan to get this thing going. I know how much you love the game of baseball, and we love we read you, and we know the content that you have to come up with in the offseason. But after this, we get to actually have real games, and you get to write about real things, not projections, not guesses, not hypothesis, actual real baseball. I know you got to be excited.
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited. The fact that yesterday was our last Sunday without baseball until November was absolutely amazing. And I'm just so excited for real numbers, as you said, real games, real matchups. On Thursday, we're going to have 8 Cy Youngs on the bump. Across the board, 8 pitchers who have won at least one Cy Young. It's going to be a really, really fun way to get this started.
Yeah, that there is no question about that. Opening day, we were kicking it around, and I don't want to sound like Old Man River about when you're talking about the opening day starter. It seems like some organizations don't care anymore about, because it's just game one of 162. But there still is some of us who like the tradition of that first guy, that first matchup. It's the best of the best. It's opening day. It's the bunting. It's the national anthem. It's the packed crowd. It still means, please tell me, Sarah, it still means something.
Oh, of course it does. And you can see it. With Cody's Pirates, we saw it when Mitch Keller was named opening day starter. They had a video with him getting named in the manager's office and, everything that he felt about getting that honor to be that guy kicking it off. So yes, sometimes it comes down to who's healthy, who's available, but I think there's still a lot of honor and a lot that comes with being that opening day starter.
I want to know what you think from a number standpoint. Now, you don't have the numbers yet to really delve into it, but maybe, just maybe, there's something from spring training that you have seen that, like I mentioned with the A's, and there's quite a few teams like this, the script everybody's been running, home runs, walks, that's how you score. There's a lot of teams that are not going to be able to score like that. They're just not built that way. They just don't have that kind of offense. But now you got teams being encouraged. It's not like it's someone's like coming out of nowhere saying, you know what, we're going to do this. It's like baseball saying, please steal more bases. Please put the ball in play. Please be more interesting. Play a different style of baseball. We're giving you pitch timers. We're giving you no shifts. We're giving you bigger bases. We're doing everything we can to get you dummies to do something else. Will we see teams say, you know what? We're now playing a different brand of baseball, and then you'll have a great contrast of home run teams against teams who run, teams who play better defense. Are we going to see that, do you think?
I do think the game will look pretty different. To me, the stolen bases is the big thing. Really aesthetically that we'll see. We'll see a lot more of those. And of course, not having the shift means we'll get those base hits from lefties, especially, that have been ground balls for the last, 10 years. But overall, I think hitters are still who they are. I think we'll see some guys maybe transform a bit, but I'm not sure the entire brand of baseball will be different. But I do think that those bits and pieces will be there where hopefully we see more guys on base. We see more action on the base pass. We've already seen with the time of games in spring training, there is more action. There is less dead time, less waiting time.
Yeah.
So I think we will really see that to an even larger degree once games get underway and they matter, as opposed to spring training.
Yeah, it's like we hope, we don't know, we've got an idea about spring training. I don't know how we can possibly look at it and say this is not. Some people don't think it's going to be dramatic. Some people do. I'm on the dramatic side. I'm a talk show host. I think batting average for lefties is about to like it's going to change. Like, and the reason why I say it, Sarah, people try and think of this too much of too much about strategy and less about what human beings are like. And for hitters, they have been in this realm of they've been locked in thinking, oh God, if I hit a ground ball, I'm out. So their mind has been cluttered. I have a feeling that now the players are going to get up to the plate and have freedom again. They're going to have freedom, kind of like a golfer, tight fairway versus big fairway. You got a big fairway, grip it and rip it. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of freedom at the plate for these left-handed hitters compared to like they've almost felt like they're a little bit in jail. Now it's going to be freedom, and I think that freedom, and now you're going to see balls just flying all over the place, up the middle to the right side, way more hits, batting average going up. I'm expecting big things. What would you bet on?
I mean, I do think that's a really good point because the way that we track shifts in the time that Statcast has been tracking them allows us to see any results that happened when there was a shift. And I remember when we first got this data a couple of years ago, it came out that there were a lot more strikeouts when the shift was on. So that gets to your point that those hitters seeing the shift were maybe, protecting too much, swinging over too much, and trying not to hit that ground ball right at that guy who was shifted over. So without the shift, again, it's not just that we'll see those ground ball base hits, but that we'll see other outcomes maybe increase as well. I am always not inclined to say it will be super dramatic, but I do think this will be much more dramatic than any other change we've seen lately, right? We saw the intentional walk stopping for pitches. We've seen, mound visits restricted, things like that over the last few years. This seems like it's going to feel like very different baseball compared to last year.
When you look at what I know it's near and dear to your heart, the Mets, and you look at the Braves, and you look at the defending national champs, the Phillies, wow, it just seems like this is going to be, a lot of fun to watch certain divisions. I think you got three teams. I mean, one of the best memes that they had out there last year was a picture of two guys fighting, and it was the Braves and the Mets. And then they had the guys over there smoking, just watching the fight, having a good time. It was the Phillies. It was one of the great pictures, right? It was so hilarious. But this is going to be a full-on absolute brawl in the National League East. And, of course, we know what a big Mets fan you are. There's so much attention around the Mets. Mets-Yankees baseball, the fight in New York City is back and alive. Just when you think about this season from the NL East to the Battle of New York, how you feeling?
I mean, that NL East is going to be fascinating. Last time I looked, it was the only division with 3 teams projected to win at least 89 games. And of course, those PECOTA projections are usually a little conservative. But to me, what really stands out is that each team has had some sort of roadblock or bump in the road lately. The Phillies, obviously, we knew Bryce Harper wouldn't be back until midseason, but now the Rhys Hoskins injury. With the Mets, obviously, the Edwin Diaz injury. And for the Braves, they had this shortstop battle in camp between Brendan Shoemaker and Vaughn Grissom. They ended up saying neither of them won the job, sending them down. And Orlando Arcia is going to be their starting shortstop. So each team is not in the exact spot they expected to be right now. But regardless, they're all kind of on equal playing field. I mean, I've been picking the Braves to win mostly because they have the youth in a way that maybe the Mets lack a little bit. And the Phillies, if Harper were back a bit sooner, maybe I would be picking them. But I mean, every day I go back and forth, and I know I have to submit an official pick sometime in the next 3 days. I'm looking at the calendar on my computer screen, and I still have no idea who I'm going to pick. I mean, Mandy Bella covers the Guardians for us and MLB.com, and I are recording a podcast in like 20 minutes where I'm going to have to make a pick, and I still don't know who I'm going to pick.
So okay, so you're taping a podcast in 20 minutes?
Yeah,
okay.
roughly.
But when for MLB.com, when do you have to have your official picks in?
I assume by Thursday morning.
All right, so you're going Braves. Where
now? Yeah.
do you okay? Let's go out to our division. I mean, we're not expecting you to take the A's, even though we'd love you for it. Is this the time that you maybe see a little falter in the Astros and maybe a little step for the Mariners up? Can the Mariners take them down?
I don't know if this is the year, only because that pitching, even without Justin Verlander, is going to be so good. I love the Jose Abreu ad, but the Mariners are going to be great. So are the Astros. I don't know if the Astros are where they've been the last few years, but I do think they're still a bit of a cut above the Mariners. But the time is coming. The time is coming.
All right, Central. I know always. I mean, Cleveland. Anybody bets it's Cleveland, you're kind of like, really? I mean, what Terry Francona, a friend of this program, friend of the A's, has done over the years with their pitching and their defense. Obviously, the Twins are going to be good. I'm going to say that this year, if you're going to buy a stock in a team who floundered last year and could really change things up, to me, is the White Sox. But where would you go in Central?
I'm going Guardians there, but I agree with you about the White Sox. They had a lot of injuries last year. I do think they'll be better. For them, it comes down to which is the real Lucas Giolito. He had a really puzzling year last year. So figuring out where he lands up, and Lance Lynn continuing to be all reliable for them like he was for Team USA 2 weeks ago, by the way. So I am still going Guardians, Twins, and then White Sox, but I think the White Sox will be better than last year.
Okay, the Yankees and the Bombers. I mean, at some point, Toronto's got to stop being the cute chic pick, and they got to step up. Can't ever bet against the Rays. Boston is still kind of a flip of a coin. What do they want to be? Baltimore came on strong at one point last year, traded their two best, fell off. Are they still going to be a good story? How do you see the East?
So I do think it's the Yankees, although the injuries they've had to their pitching staff over the last couple of weeks here, and even just over the weekend with Luis Severino, are definitely troubling. Obviously, Carlos Rodon not starting the season with the team because he's injured is not ideal. But I do still think they're cut above with Aaron Judge, hopefully Giancarlo Stanton staying healthy. And I'm really excited for Anthony Volpe, who's going to be their shortstop at 21 years old. I think the Blue Jays are second in that division. I know the Rays always have this magic where we don't expect them and then they're still really good. I think both of those teams will be good, but I think the Blue Jays may have underperformed a bit last year. Obviously, very disappointing postseason exit, but I think they will be really good this year with their pitching. Adding Chris Bassett, and I think Vladdy will have, I mean, he wasn't bad last year, but he wasn't the MVP caliber he'd been the year before. I think he bounces back to being more of that MVP level this year.
Yeah, Volpe. I mean, this guy, he's 21 years old. He's from New Jersey. I was reading this thing when he was in AAA in Newark. Like, all the teammates were going home to his parents' house, and they were all hanging at his parents' house. And I'm thinking, man, 21 years old, shortstop for the Yankees. Wow. I mean, wow. That's like being a quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, and I mean, he grew up with Derek Jeter being his favorite player, and now he's going to be the youngest Yankee to start opening day since Derek Jeter in 1996. I mean, that's literally what you dream about. I saw on Twitter the other day about how in 2014 at the All-Star game in Minnesota, he was 13. and he got an autograph from Jeter in what was, I guess, his final All-Star game there. So I mean, there's just so much, and it'll be really, really fun.
God bless him, man. Not many people have that. It's like the kid that comes out. I think it's like quarterback. Like you come out of a powerhouse school, and next thing you know, you're starting at 22 years old in the National Football League. It's like, man, you are living the dream. Okay, quickly to the National League. You already said, are you committed to Bravos? I know you're going on a podcast here, and we got to get you out of here. You're committed to Bravos?
I'll stick with it. Yeah.
What about my old guys in the Mets? What about my Mets? What about Scherzer, Verlander, my old guys? Guys who actually pitch innings. Well, how?
I mean, they're going to be great, but you said it, the old guys. That's the question. I also think the Mets offense needed that Carlos Correa upgrade or some sort of upgrade, and they didn't really have that internally. So we'll see. They have some guys down at AAA. Brett Beatty, Francisco Alvarez, Mark Vientos. Any of them could be an impact by a couple months into the season, but I think the Mets lineup might not be. It doesn't have Ronald Acuna Jr. That's all I'll say.
All righty, so we go to the Central, pretty standard. Cardinals, Brewers could trade people, especially their pitchers. Do you see it any other way than Cardinals?
No, I think it's the Cardinals. The Brewers actually had a much better offense last year than people give them credit for. So I do want to mention that, but we tend to think of them as pitching heavy. Overall, I just think the Cardinals are in a really good spot. And by the way, speaking of really exciting call-ups, there's 20-year-old Jordan Walker, who is a Aaron Judge-sized individual, and is going to be a really, really fun player to watch for a long time for the Cardinals.
Yeah, when we did the Cardinals preview, we were talking about him being 6'5". You're like, this is a big dude, very and kind of like, if you really look at the most interesting divisions, we talked about the NL East, we talked about the AL East. The other one is the National League West. It's like the Dodgers have owned this thing for many years. Statistically, they're still far ahead of everybody. Padres had that run in the playoffs, but still there was a big separation between the Padres and the Dodgers during the regular season. Giants have added a bunch of pieces. I'm a little bullish on Arizona. I think they're going to be better. I think they're super athletic. I don't know how much that changes in the standings, but how do you see the NL West?
You know, I think I'm going to be picking the Padres. It's another one I keep going back and forth on. But, I mean, overall, the Dodgers are the champs until proven otherwise. But looking at where they're at, especially with now the Gavin Lux injury, I mean, it's been about a month, but knowing they have that moving forward, I just think the Padres are a bit better rounded, and I'm expecting a huge year from Juan Soto, who struggled a bit last year in a way that only he could, where he was still really, really good. I think he'll be the Juan Soto we're used to. I do agree with you about Arizona. I love the youth and athleticism with that team. I think they could finish third ahead of the Giants just with Corbin Carroll and everyone else who's going to be carrying them.
Why are you pointing at the screen, Cody? He's over here just pointing at the
screen. No, I was fist bumping that she picked them to finish out of the Giants.
Well, will you get on camera then? I mean, you're like reacting to her, and then he's over here making motion. I don't know what the hell what are you doing over there?
I'm a little disappointed you didn't pick the Pirates from the Central, but it's okay. Next year's their year.
I apologize.
You don't have to apologize. Are you kidding me? They stink.
Yeah. They do got the Giannis Antetokounmpo of baseball and O'Neal Cruz. So, but I'm with you about Arizona. I like Corbin Carroll, Alek Thomas, their pitching staff with Gallen and Merrill Kelly. I think they're going to, like Chris said, and you've talked about, they're going to surprise a lot of people this year. And we really like Torey Lovullo, so we couldn't be happier for Torey, for them to do well.
Absolutely. I mean, I think they're going to be really, really fun to watch. And I think that's just a great thing for that division, which has been really binary lately, right? It's been pretty much just Dodgers. We have the one Giants year, but now we have a Padres team even better than the last few years. with the Diamondbacks on the rise, it's really, really good for baseball.
Well, there's one thing that I want in 2023. I want Sarah Langs on the show. I want Sarah Langs on MLB.com. I want Sarah Langs on Twitter every night where I'm going, damn, how did she find that? And then I steal from you. I do mention your name, but I use you all the time for my hits during the game. Sarah Lang said, so I want as much Sarah Langs as I possibly can get in 2023. That is my number one thing I want for this season.
I love it. I will do my absolute best. Always here. Always love chatting with you, both of you. And thank you so much. I mean, I'm really, really excited for the year.
You look great and can't wait to talk to you again. Good luck on that podcast. And let's talk very soon. And since I won't talk to you on Thursday, I'll text you, but I want to tell you face to face here, happy opening day.
Happy opening day. We made it. It's pouring here right now in New York, but we made it. We made it to baseball. I'm so, so excited. Thank you.
Be well, my friend.
See ya.